Yeah, so hello guys, thank you all for joining. Now let me start as we're discussing here about the DevOps using AWS as well in the cloud. So into the DevOps, we will going through like what is DevOps and what is cloud computing. We will learn into this like Maven, what is Git, and what is AWS and Ansible, Puppet, and the Jenkins, Docker, and there is the Negus and Terraform. Okay, so in these things we are going to learn this. So let's just start. Like, what is the DevOps? So basically, DevOps is a culture like which promotes collaboration between developer and the operations teams to deploy codes to production. Earlier, what happened is like there are different methodology which we will learn. Earlier, there was a methodology which companies are using like 5 to 6 years earlier. Will be it is you can say like waterfall methodology. In the waterfall methodology, the company you can say like in waterfall methodology, like there was no communication between developer and operations. Okay, so that method developer did the make the changes, and after making changes there was no communication between developer and and the other one like operations team, because after making changes by developer, operation just deploy it on the servers like the system admin people, like Linux system admin, Windows system admin. But there was no scenario of testing and all. There was no scenario of testing and all. Okay, that there was no automation testing part, like is the code is working or not. So due to with this, it is taking time for any company to deploy any release or a software life cycle at a particular time period, because it takes a lot of times. So now just we moving to like the current what is DevOps. The DevOps is basically it making a communication between developer, tester, and the operations people. So operations people mean to say like the Linux system admin. They are now working, or SRE. These are the guys who are working now together. So yeah, so I will give you an example. Earlier it was like Facebook. The Facebook was the first company which used the DevOps DevOps methodology. What they use it as a like there was some release cycle of their product, so they deploy it on some small area of a product, a small area like that is in the into green and blue deployment. You can say using that methodology. So, for example, they, as you know, like Facebook is in multiple countries, more than you can say 200 plus countries. But now what happened? So, including in this one into blue-green deployment, they actually deploy to one particular region or one particular area of one of their product. So after deploying their product, they check the feedback, they get the feedback, they test it, like what is happening, and it is working or not. Once it is working successfully, then they deploy it to multiple their countries and multiple opco, you can say. So yeah, so this is the DevOps. Now why DevOps required? As I said earlier, like development operation teams to work together to make the software release into the production in the faster and faster way to in automation as well. Now, as we know, like in the manual code deployment, the lot of human errors was happening into the production. So it also help to reduce that human errors, and also it helps the operation and coding team to have their separate timeline. Okay, which due to which there was no communication between them, which makes the delay into deployment. Now using this, there will be a one timeline like using a Scrum, Jira. So this is happening using DevOps. Now let's talk about why DevOps is used for. So DevOps basically allow agile development team to implement continuous integration and delivery. It helps you to launch your product faster into the market. Now, what are the other factors for this? First one is the predictability. DevOps offers you like lower failure rate of the new release. Like suppose earlier, as I said, mentioned, like when we doing the manual deployment. So into manual deployment, there was a lot of chance of human error. So including the DevOps, as everything become automated, so it reduce the chances of making any error. So apart from this predictability, the second option is reproducibility. So including the DevOps, you can reproduce the same, you can use the version, everything, the code that you have used in earlier, you can use it anytime. It doesn't matter if you require, like suppose you have deployed one applications to the production, and as you once you find any bug or something, so you feel like okay, this is not that one, I need to fix it. So what you can do, you can just restore it to the earlier deployment. That is the benefit of using DevOps. A third one option is the maintainability. Like you can maintain the process of recovery in case of any crashing of new release or the any problem into the current system. For example, you can see like we are using Kubernetes, Docker as a container. So they are using that if something happens into our system. For example, if something happened to that particular pod, so within a minute you can start a new one. Because earlier, if you think about like 5 to 10 years earlier, so it took a lot of hours to create a new system. And now let's move to the another option, that is the time to market. So DevOps also reduce the time period. Like you, for example, earlier application for launching an application, it takes a lot of time, and there was a lot. It happened like a lot of time that companies has need to re-announce their launching of their product time to time, because there was no particular time period they know like when it will going to launch come into the market. So using DevOps, they reduce their time to launch it to come into the market by 50% using the continuous delivery. Now it's after this, let's think about like greater quality. So using DevOps basically help the team to provide improved quality of software as it incorporates. So for example, as we launch an application into market, for example, you can say you have launched an app into your market using DevOps. What you can achieve is like suppose after the launching, the team will work on the fixing of bugs. After the team will get the feedback. After getting the feedback, from the feedback they will fix the issue. They will make the changes. So this they are going to do into the using the DevOps. This is the benefit using the DevOps. Now reduce risk. So as I said, like using DevOps will do the automation. So using DevOps, you can do like SDLC, the software delivery life cycle. It will help you in the into the security purpose as well. Like you can, it will also help you to fix, like reduce the chances of any defect into the life cycle. Like for example, there was some applications version is not latest version, you can say, or you can say It is the like you can say like it has a lot of vulnerability. So using this DevOps, you can also fix those vulnerability, and you can it will help you to make a secure your software delivery life cycle. Another feature is like resilience. As the operational state of the software system is more stable, secure, and changes are auditable. So earlier, what happened? Suppose some changes was made by any operation teams or anything. So there was no track record of anything like what the changes they are making, or the changes they are making, and what the thing they there was no version history, anything to make a track record of the changes done by any team or any person, due to which it make a lead into suppose if anything happens, so it make a big impact on the release cycle of software. Now another thing is cost efficiency. If you talk about using the DevOps, it also help the company to reduce their price for any purchasing any into using of any softwares and all. Like for example, when we use any company using like they are when they're going to purchase a data center, into the data center itself it take lot of it may takes a lot of cost of them. So after coming to the cloud like AWS and Azure, any public cloud, so it will help them to reduce their infrastructure cost apart from the infrastructure part. If you comes to talk about the Jenkins and the like delivery and continuous delivery tools and all, so it help them to also to fix using open source tool. They are now they have to earlier purchase a lot of software for making any changes or according to their requirement. So it helps using these tools. Now they have saved a lot of cost. So apart from this cost efficiency, there was a like breaker breaks large code base into small pieces. So using DevOps, okay. So DevOps is basically is based on the agile method, as I said. So it allow you to break large code into small pieces and manageable chunks. So as I mentioned, like suppose multiple developer are working on a on a release life cycle or software life cycle. So earlier when something was happened, so you have to check from the beginning of the code. So it take a lot of time. Like you have write a large code, but after comes to the coming to the DevOps, like you will make as you using Git or any version control system. So you have a history of that what the code was working last time and what did you make the changes. So you can easily differentiate it. You can work on the small piece of that code, and you can check you can manage it by your own. Now when to adopt DevOps, like who can use the DevOps? So DevOps basically used by large distributed applications such as e-commerce website and application hosted over the cloud platform, or and as well as on the on-prem as well. Like when you can't use the DevOps, like it is not it is not required to use any means it is not necessary to use by everyone. Like suppose some application which is very critical such as into bank, so power, which have some sensitive data, those applications require to be strict, to not not should not be shared into multiple environment, or they can't be shared by multiple people. So those applications can't be use adopt using DevOps. So like let's talk about the DevOps life cycle. So some DevOps is basically, as I said earlier, it is a basically integration between development and operations. So if you can't able to understand basically the DevOps life cycle without knowing that what is DevOps, without knowing the DevOps life cycle. So here is the just a small piece of knowledge about the DevOps life cycle. So development, first of all, talk about like development. As you know, like the dev into the DevOps, like when a developer are the people, team. Development is the team who is basically working on the code on the software to make it working. They make it into small life cycle according to and make it in change into the release and the production, like when it is goes to what the code will be goes to production and all. And there will be like testing team, the QA team, as we already know. So they're using automation tool like Selenium, Cucumber. So using these tools, they can easily identify and fix the bugs into the new piece of the codes. And the other team, as we said, like operations, integration team. The integration team, you can say, like they whatever the new changes or new piece of code is created by the development team, they integrate it to the servers. So they check it, like integrate on the servers, and they're doing the continuous deployment. In the deployment phase, the development process will take like automation part. It will deploy the code without any affecting the earlier running website, you can say hydropic website, earlier running software. It won't affect anything, and it will deploy to the server. Any question till here? Any if you have any questions, so you can ask. Any questions till
Please
here?
continue. No, no, no questions.
Yeah, can I proceed?
Yes.
Sure, thanks. So DevOps workflow. Now, like as we read about the theory, like how DevOps work, what is DevOps and what is the DevOps like a cycle. And now let's, as you have heard about in multiple interview questions, like they are asking you, like what is DevOps and how DevOps working, like what is CI/CD pipeline, as they also mentioned. So this is an example. They also ask you like branching strategy and all, like what is the branching strategy. So this is a workflow of DevOps, like how DevOps work. So it start from here into the development. As we all know, like there are multiple developer working on the same code, or as it is a big on the, you can say same code, or you can say like there are multiple developer who are working on same release or same life cycle to make software deploy. So into this, as you see here, into the development part, there are multiple developer who uh, copy this repository from the GitHub. They pull it into their local. They then here, after making the changes and after from the master branch, this is a master branch as you see here. So from master branch, it pull down, you pull it down, developer pull down it and on their local and make a feature branch. So whatever feature branch, you can give a name, like for example XYZ. So into that feature branch, developer make a changes. After making a changes, they create a PR. PR is the pull request. The pull request is nothing. It is actually you are after pulling from data from here, you actually pushing the data again back to the repository. So once here you raise a PR, so it go the pull request is come to the again back to the review. There was some developer or there will be some team, you can say, or some people who is working as a code reviewer who will like you can say your seniors and the DevOps or any people who is actually the Scrum Masters and all. So those people guys will check the code who has access and all. After reviewing your code, they will check like it is like what they will check. They will check like is there any bug, the security part, and the okay it will run the build. I mean the build will be done or not. Once they approve here, after getting approval, it will do the build. Once it will pass, so it will again it will goes from feature branch to master branch. So now when it comes to the master branch, so it will do the build. After making a build, QA start their process of testing. As you say, this is for development branch, and then after review, it comes to the works goes to the QA. So, but in earlier model, if you think like 5 to 10 years back, so developer make a changes here, they send it to the operations team. There was no communication between developer, operations, and the QA. So developer change, pull, raise, push the code to the master or to the GitHub and send a mail to operations team or whatever. Then operations guy will deploy it, and they also don't, you can say like, don't care about like it is working or not. Then QA, it comes to QA check it, and QA said, oh, a lot of issue and all. Again it comes back to the same process has been started from here. So it take a lot of time. So now here you see, as QA started testing, and after QA, once the QA started testing, you can see here like what he test. He checking the code, like is there any bugs and all the security part. Then once the QA gave a go, like green signal, yes, you can deploy it. So it goes to the pre-prod environment. Pre-prod environment is the before the production environment where you can deploy your application. There will be multiple environment in any organization. Started from, you can say like development, or you can say like a testing environment, and then after that there will be pre-prod and prod. So these are some environments over there. So here you can see in pre-prod, they are using AWS. On the AWS, there is some run servers are running either using EC2, or it will be running on container. So into AWS, it starting to deploy the application it automatically. So there are a lot of tools into the in this one, like load balancer and availability zone and all that, which we will talk later. So using this, they deploy onto the pre-prod. Once the pre-prod is deployment done, once the code again, there will be a testing phase will be here again as well, using the automation testing tool like Selenium and all. Once that is also goes to once that is also done, so it will again goes back to the deploy to the production servers. This is a life cycle, you can say, of the DevOps SDLC, like software deployment life cycle or software delivery life cycle. Any questions into this?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I understand the process.
Hmm.
Uh, I want to know what a DevOps engineer, I mean, what, I will be focusing on once I, get into the job. So I'm more interested in that.
Okay. So as you understand this here, like you as a working as a DevOps guy, you have
Mhm.
to work on this part. Okay,
Which part?
like this one, you have to do the deployment
Okay.
automation. You have to take care of automation on the AWS, or also on the like code. You have to also, you should have knowledge on some piece of coding. Okay, like you can say Groovy, Go language, these type of language you should have knowledge. So
No,
using
where does it come under? Is it on, is
it
you
will be
you
it
tell
will it will be on the Jenkins. The Groovy is using by Jenkins. And also
so
not only these two only, you should have also knowledge over Python. And if it is little bit of Java, that would be advantage. Why it is required? Because you are working as a DevOps. So DevOps means developer operations. Okay. So
so
there is yeah. You can
let's
continue.
just start from the beginning. So while in development phase, you are saying that I have to build the code
You don't
using
have to
Jenkins,
build the
right?
code. Developer will make the build. As I mentioned here, you can see here into the
Okay.
diagram itself. Developer make the changes here, and
Mm-hmm.
there will be some senior guy of the developer team who will review their code. Once they will pass the code, that is goes to QA teams. The QA team.
So where will I be working? See,
You
that's
will
what
working on the
and
DevOps this life cycle. You can say prepared production part.
pre prod production.
Yeah, you can,
Pre-production.
yeah, pre-production and production and also on the development, but not only work, you will not going to work on the code. You don't do, you are not going to create a code. Okay. If you are a developer, then you will going to work on the code. If you are a DevOps guy, then you will going to work on the automation part, automation and the configuration.
Automation and configuration is what DevOps engineer will be working on. Is that what
Exactly.
you're trying to say?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, and what are the tools used there?
So there are a lot of tools. Okay. Like into the cloud, as I mentioned here, you can see here like AWS. Apart from AWS, there will be Google Cloud or Azure, any cloud. Okay. So
Okay.
now, apart from the like, this is for the infrastructure, there will be multiple too. As you can see now, companies are adopting to the microservices. So microservices are running using, Docker container, and there will be other container as well, like container D, Rocket. Okay, these are some container tools, and this is for managing those containers that you can use the cluster of containers you can manage using Kubernetes, okay, or Apache Mesos, or you can say like Docker Swarm. According to it will be decided by any company what they are going to use, what they want to adopt according to
Right.
their requirement.
So, right, it depends on the company what they're using. But what are
Exactly.
you going to train me on? I mean, what tools will you be training me on?
So as I mentioned in the starting, we will learn about AWS. I will also give you learning about the Maven because Maven is a build tool.
Okay.
Git, you also know like it is a VCS, like version control system. Okay,
Right.
so we will going for Git, we will go for AWS, and again I will teach you Ansible for configuration management. Okay,
Okay.
and there will be Jenkins. Like in the Jenkins, you as you know the automation build and deploy,
So
and
that comes under pre-production, right? Jenkins?
it will be also on the testing environment as well, because developer
Okay.
will also do the testing, right? How they're gonna see
Right.
like their code is working or not.
Right.
It doesn't
Okay.
matter. It is only that like Jenkins is not mandatory to be only to the production or pre-production. It will be any environment, testing, developer, QA. Okay,
Okay.
it doesn't matter. But you will going to work on the automation tool. That these all are comes on the automation and DevOps. Okay,
Okay. Is just the automation comes under DevOps engineering? Like I thought it's a bit it's it includes everything. I didn't think just the automation
so in
part.
everything you see already, like so the tools here you as you see here, what is the purpose of these tools? These tools are their purpose only to do the automation, the manual process. Correct? The using these tools you will able to do the automation only. Correct or not?
Yeah, everything. Yeah, the core concept is to automate.
Correct?
Okay, I got that.
Yeah. So, but you will not going to work over the like you have to do write a code into the like the software code, right? As a
Okay,
developer do, but you will going
right.
to write a code onto these like over the Jenkins, over the Docker, over the Ansible, the piece of code onto the Terraform to
Oh,
automate the manual process that you have to going to work.
okay.
Clear?
Because you mentioned a tool called Selenium or something, right? That is something a
That is
QA
con-
does,
that
right?
is that is the comes as a cure. The tools I mentioned here, the Selenium part as you are talking, okay, that is for only like you can see like that is basically for tester team. Like as you know, there are two types of testing, like automate and manual, right? So a lot
Mm-hmm.
of earlier company using the manual testing, right? But now
Mm-hmm.
the tools comes like Selenium, Cucumber, okay. So these are the tools which help you to make the automation of the testing process. So when you run the build over the Jenkins, it will do the testing on everything.
So will I be doing that as a DevOps
No, no, no,
engineering,
no, no,
or
no, no, no.
testers will do
The
that?
tester will do it.
Okay,
You will
okay, okay.
going to only implement. You will work, as I said, automation and implementation part. That is your work. So here you can read this like why DevOps. So DevOps you can see here like what the mention here like before DevOps there was the development and operation team work in a complete isolation. Okay.
Right.
So testing and deployment were isolated activity done by design build. So that is taking more time than the actual build cycle. So without using your DevOps, team member will spend lot of time into their testing and deploying instead of the building of the project. Clear? As they were doing the manual code deployment, so manual code deployment lead to the human errors in the production. Clear? Then coding and operation teams have their separate timeline. So there will be not a single common timeline time frame for any release cycle. There was a separate timeline for developer, there was a separate line for operations team. Understood?
Okay. Yes.
Now your doubt is clear or you have still any doubt?
No, I'm just more, I'm just trying to get more clarity on what I will be focusing on.
So
Because you
you
said
yeah, you say here in the DevOps life cycle the last 2 point integration and deployment. This
integration, continuous integration, continuous deployment
exactly
is
this
okay.
is the where you will mostly focus.
Okay.
Exactly. You know, because that as you see here the development part, the developer do the development and the tester do the testing using Selenium, right?
Okay.
And then you are going to check the code, integrate it over the Jenkins and all. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
you check the once something issue is comes like the first you will there are a lot of tools like as I mentioned there will be like SonarQube, code quality. Okay, so using those tools as you see you will check the codes if something if code of it, there will be particular criteria like minimum 80% or 90% require the code to be passed to go to the deploy. If that is not passed, then why it not pass? You have to tell to the developer. So the developer will work on the code that you
Okay.
these are the things you have to work on. Only
Okay.
the automation because as I said, DevOps is the only process for making everything as a automated because earlier they are using the manual process,
Right.
right?
Yes.
Okay.
Now, when you say automation, it's everywhere there is automation, right? So,
Exactly. Like
right.
for
So,
example,
mhm,
if you think about let's take an let's talk with an example. So earlier, what happened? Like there was like you are working in a company who deploy multiple web you can say like mobile app. Okay, they're building the mobile app. Okay,
okay.
so there is a different team like Android team, iOS team, correct?
Hmm.
And there will be some system admin guys who will deploy to the servers. Okay,
Right.
so the developer make the changes their code, right? So and you as you are working as a developer, I am working as a system admin. You send the code, you
Mm.
send me an email or you send okay using FileZilla and blah blah whatever tools you are using. You just transfer it over the server. You ask me to deploy, right?
Right. Right.
So I deploy it. The code will going to mess up. It is fail,
Hmm.
build fail.
Right.
It there was lot of issue comes into. Then now what
Okay.
happened? You will blame me. I will blame you. The blaming games going on. Who is affecting here? The business.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Now
Right.
now when the DevOps comes, so what happened? You make a changes, a small changes. Okay, you request me to do it. So I
When
will
you say
you
you make the change, who? The developer?
yes, correct.
Okay.
As I give you a scenario, like you are a developer, I am a system admin. Correct, the
Okay.
operation guy.
Okay.
Okay. So developer make the changes into the like for example Android developer. What it happened? So as they ask me to deploy it, they will build. You will not going to build. Okay. They will build it in a jar or whatever. okay, their file using Maven. And when I
Right.
talk about developer build, they will use Maven and other tools, okay,
Okay.
which is used by software developer. But when it comes to the DevOps, you will going to use the Jenkins, Bamboo, okay, Cloud Foundry. There are a lot of tools, okay. So
Okay.
once you do the build, once they build it, so over the Jenkins, using Jenkins, you deploy it, okay, on the
Mm-hmm.
testing server. So over
Mm-hmm.
there, what happened? You check, okay, the code is this and that, correct?
Right.
Then what happened? Suppose it's not deploy. In the output, you will see the error. So quickly you communicate with the developer. Hey, I am able to see this error. Okay, I will write an email or whatever. It will goes an email as well. It will directly an automation email as well.
Mm-hmm.
Will goes to developer as well.
Okay.
Okay, that build means the deployment process is started or it is going to fail. What the error comes, you can just there will be a communication group or chat like Slack, HipChat, anything. Correct? They deploy it. So
Okay.
there we mention, okay, this is the issue and all, blah blah. So let's talk over there. Correct?
Right. Okay.
So it will help the company to fix the issue quickly, okay, faster, and into a secure manner. Now
Okay.
you understood?
Yeah. I mean, I think when we really start using the tools, I'll get more clarity.
Exactly,
I sort of
exactly.
get the idea, but
Yeah, so this is
yeah,
the theoretical part first I am explaining you because first of all you should know like what is the DevOps is, why DevOps is required.
right.
Okay, so now any other questions?
No, not related to the subject, but what time are you planning to train in general?
So as I mentioned in the starting here, first of all I will give you some introduction about DevOps, then the cloud,
No, no, no,
then
no, no. I'm asking what time are you planning to train?
I am planning you as a DevOps engineer, as a cloud engineer. Okay, like the integration CI/CD pipeline you can say. Like,
What what time? Time. Morning or evening?
oh, okay. You are asking what time. So you can tell me basically what time you want to.
For me, the mornings will work. Is that okay with you?
Your morning?
Yeah, my morning time, anytime.
Yeah, that's fine for me. I'm okay with it.
Okay. Um, okay.
You want to connect in morning now?
Yeah. Um, give me like a day or two, and then I'll tell you exactly what time. Um,
Sure.
um, where are you training me from, if you don't mind me asking?
Means I didn't get.
Which place are you training me? Where are you training me from?
I'm from Pune.
You're from Pune. Okay. Okay. Um, all right. Okay, I will let you know. I'll give me like a day or two, to sort of let me go through the demo one more time, and I
Hmm.
will get back to you.
Okay. So any feedback you have, if you can give.
Not at the minute, right? Is this the first? Hello?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you're still there, right? Okay. Yeah, let me go through the training one more time. Sorry, the demo. Let me read through it. Since this is the first class, I don't have any feedback. But
Okay.
yeah, let me read through this, and we'll talk again.
Sure. No problem.
Okay?
Yeah.
Maybe tomorrow this time or day after tomorrow in the
Sure, sure.
morning.
No problem. Yes.
Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you. Bye.
Mhm. Bye.